And like said, if it doesn't work,
Here we go. We're live. Awesome.
yay!
And we're just, crossing our fingers that Facebook is working because we're streaming into Facebook, but also in YouTube. So we're covering our bases. If we learn nothing else from yesterday's outage on Facebook, is to not put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here today with Charlene Tessier. She's a live stream expert. And tell us a little bit about what you do and who you serve.
Okay. I'm Charlene Tessier, and I'm helping entrepreneurs use strategic live streaming to find their fans online and to fill their programs. So, yeah.
And I have to tell you that I was already doing live streams before I met you, but seeing what you do and how you approached it just inspired me so much. So I go live much more regularly and consistently now because of your inspiration. So thank you for that.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you. And I hope that my tips that I give, sorry, my eyes are a little bit watery here. My tips, I give most of my tips on LinkedIn. I focus on building your audience and income in LinkedIn and strategically through live streams and also videos. If you're not able to stream live yet, then you can still make video that can be really compelling.
Yeah. And apparently the algorithms on LinkedIn favor videos, but so few people are posting videos and doing live streams. So it's almost like you have a captive audience, isn't it?
Yes, if you post video, I don't know about the statistic as much as on Facebook, but and I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar anyways across all social, but it's like 4 times more times in your favor. You get at least 4 times more reach on LinkedIn. And if you happen to be one of the lucky ones, which I hope Elizabeth will be soon to be LinkedIn live stream, approved, then you actually get even more reach. And I do notice that a lot of people who engage with me are like third, fourth, like they're very far outside of my circle of connection. And it's because LinkedIn kind of promises to expand your reach whenever you use video and especially live streaming.
Wow, that's awesome. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here today to talk a little bit about the importance of story for the entrepreneur. So can you tell us about, how you use story and why you do? Why is it important for you to incorporate story into your business?
Well, story really helps to keep the audience engaged, and it really brings in a personal kind of engagement that can't be replicated with just sort of facts or lessons or tips. Story also really helps to kind of let me share a bit more about myself, because generally when we stream, we always talk about some sort of tip or strategy, which is a very linear kind of way to communicate. And we are sort of this multifaceted people who have interests beyond just the one thing that we do. Yes, we're experts in that, but we are multifaceted. And story allows us to combine sort of lessons and, the lessons with the engagement of, getting to know the person a bit more.
Yeah, and apparently stories are remembered 22 times more than facts alone. So I think that it really sticks in people's mind if you can illustrate some tip or facts that you're sharing with a story. Do you have a particular story that you like to share a lot?
The story I share the most right now is my journey story or origin story, whatever you're going to call that. Most people call it origin story of the struggle of my business over the last few years, getting it from offline to online. That's the main story I still continue to share, mainly because people are still discovering me and learning about me. And so I don't share the story often in its entirety, but I will share snippets of it throughout all of my live streams. And I have been now starting to actually try to incorporate stories which you would not think would be a match, but that's like personal stories that are very interesting in that way. Yeah.
Can you give an example?
Yeah. Last week, I actually shared a story about social dancing, which I do a lot of social dancing before COVID, anyways. And I essentially married that with why it is so important to master a skill and how social dance is a way to experience mastery of a skill. And then I spoke a bit about actually copywriting. It was tied into copywriting, which you would not think it would be, but it does tie together. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. So can you elaborate a little bit? How does social dancing connect to content writing?
In this case, it was content writing is really a skill that requires us to master it. And when people hear they have to master a skill, it usually the first thought that comes to mind is that's probably going to take a really long time to do. And uh, I wanted to sort of show people that taking, the time to actually learn copywriting can, double your benefits of your business, the way you communicate, sales, everything in your entire business. Um, and how I use the story was that as adults, we don't really remember what it is to master a skill. As a child, we remember that we have that much more innately kind of in our memory, but as adults, we forget very easily. And social dancing is one of those things that is a most humbling experience. If you don't know how to do it, to dance with a partner and learn it, it humbles you to learn like, oh, this is what it takes to master skills like a child in a way. And it just kind of humbles you into what it takes to learn something really well and be good at it. And so that's how the story kind of worked together.
Oh, that's so cool. And I love what you were saying about, bringing it back to childhood, because we just were sort of mastering machines and we didn't worry about failing. It's sort of like not even in our vocabulary up until a certain age. We just explore and we do things, we get, good at them. And it sort of enlarges our world, but it feeds our endorphins and we feel good when we've accomplished something, which in turn is going to reflect in your business. So if you put in some effort into your content copywriting, and you come up with something that you're really proud of, then that's going to reflect in how you show up in your business and how you have your conversations with your clients, and there's this trickle down effect.
Yes, I can totally see that. It's a journey I kind of started to embark on this year. I decided that I really wanted to double down on that. And it's a bit overwhelming, but on the other hand, it's very rewarding seeing the results quite quickly, actually, more than you would think. Even though it's a mastery of a long skill, there are ways to shortcut it, and things you can do that will have literally immediate impact, which is so wonderful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love that you're doing something fun and creative as well, because I think that that's so important for entrepreneurs, that especially when we're transitioning, from a brick and mortar business, or maybe we've left our corporate job and we're creating this online business. There's so many moving parts, and I find that a lot of us live in our heads almost from a fear base, like, oh my goodness, I got to get this working, and I got to try this, I got to throw more spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. But when we take some time just to recharge our batteries, like social dancing or knitting or some, whatever kind of like fun thing that we want to do, that actually gives us time to recharge our creative batteries. And then we come back to our business in a fresher way. Do you find that for yourself?
Yeah, that's one of the things also this kind of I run in sprints or whatever quarters. A lot of people do that, a lot of business, and they have goals. And my goal actually this quarter is to actually have more self-care time, reduce meetings, in a way, weirdly step away from my business more. And you would think, oh, that's less productive. But I have actually found that it's true. The creativity, the ideas, the clarity, because I can step back. I'm not like constantly in it, like, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And it's kind of like also the letting go. We've, as a team, really honed in, like, what do we really need to accomplish? And what is it that we really don't need to do right now? Like, let's just let it go and really run in a straight line and achieve more by doing less in a way.
Wow, that's so inspiring. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
So we're about to wrap up here. Is there anything that you have coming up that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I have my live interactive panel of 8 experts plus myself who are going to help you to increase the show up rates for your events, including these kind of events. That's something I know that everybody is struggling with these days. A low show up rates is like a huge problem. It's very difficult to get people to come to your stuff and just not wait around for the recording, which is so frustrating when you put in so much energy and effort. to just have such a low show up rate. So I have that happening at the end of October, October 27th. And I will give the link to Elizabeth, I guess. It's a free event. You can register now if you like and join us there. And I'm actually, if we do have a moment, I'll give you a tip about, a really easy framework that I use for live streams, which
Awesome.
Elizabeth will really like. I know. And it's so simple too. It's 3 parts. This live stream. It's if you do a 10-minute stream, which I normally do, or video, doesn't have to be stream. And it starts with story. So the first part is a story. Then you tell a lesson. So that's usually the content. And then example, which tends to link back to the story. So the example is how would I actually use the thing that I'm teaching. So most people, when they dive right into their live stream, the first thing they just start blurting out the content, right? The boring lesson. And that's not very engaging for most people. If you start with the story, the first one will probably pique their interest, like what's going on here, especially if it's not super understanding if it's related. Then you get into, the lesson, why the story exists, and then the example. And that's a really neat framework that I've been kind of just trying to master myself. I essentially that I'm giving away my secret framework, which is not very secret.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for taking time to chat with us about the importance of story in your business.
Yeah, thank you.